Good morning. Thank you for joining me here today as we proclaim May Melanoma Awareness Month in Nassau County. I'm proud to be joined here today by Colette Coyne, co-founder of the Colette Coyne Melanoma Awareness Campaign to honor her daughter who 5.5 months after being diagnosed at the age of 30 succumbed to this terrible cancer. And I appreciate Colette and the Colette family, Colette Coyne family, for all that they've doing and dedicating their lives to awareness. You're doing a great job, and we're proud to assist you here in Nassau County. Nassau County Health Commissioner Larry Eisenstein, melanoma survivor, police officer Sharon Galvin, and our presiding officer, the Nassau County Legislature, Norma Gonzalez, along with legislators Walker, Venditto, Ford, and Belisi, as well as Dr. Honorato from All Island Dermatology. Doc, thank you for your time. And Thomas Coyne, the brother of Colette, who succumbed to this terrible disease. We gather here today to promote increased public awareness about the risk factors and warning signs associated with melanoma and other cancers. Incident rates for this deadly skin cancer, melanoma, continue to rise at an alarming rate among men and women in the United States, despite skin cancer being one of the most preventable cancers. Today, Nassau County joins in an effort to combat the rise in melanoma by alerting residents to the ongoing dangers of exposing the skin to excess sun and damaging UV rays. During the month of May, I encourage everyone across our county to honor those who have lost their lives to skin cancer and those who have survived this deadly disease by putting into their daily practice the recommended preventative measures and early detection habits that have proven to save lives. Early detection saves lives. We're here today to promote that and to bring this awareness campaign to our citizens as the summer season approaches. It's my hope that the campaign brings awareness and prompt residents to be mindful for the betterment of their own health and well-being. Skin cancer and melanoma is the fastest growing cancer in America, but can be prevented and cured through early diagnosis. Believe it or not, someone dies hourly from this disease. Statistics indicate 1 in 5 people will get some form of skin cancer. Melanoma is the deadliest form of skin cancer and has a lifetime risk of 1 in 50. By comparison, in 1935, the disease struck only 1 in 1,350. Today, we stand here 1 in 50. Few people realize that melanoma is the most common form of cancer in young adults 20 to 35 years of age, and second most common 15 to 29 years of age. Statistics indicate that there will be more than 76,250 new cases of melanoma in the United States, and more than 9,180 people will die from this disease, which translates into 1 death from melanoma every hour of the day. And again, the most preventable skin cancer, the most preventable cancer that there is, and we're offering 6 practical steps here today to protect the skin from the effects of sun. Cover up. Use sunscreen with an SPF of 15 or higher daily. Wear a hat. Wear sunglasses that block UV rays. Limit direct sun exposure during midday, and avoid tanning beds and sun lamps. Now I'd like to take a few moments to thank Colette Coyne and the co-founder of the Colette Coyne Melanoma Awareness Campaign for being here, and ask her to say a few words. We couldn't be more proud of you, Colette, for the time and effort you've put into alerting our residents of the importance of early detection.
Thank you. Thank you, Executive Mangano. I always say I couldn't save our daughter's life, but perhaps we, through our efforts, can save the lives of other people's children. Our message is very simple: sunscreen every day. A day like today, one would think perhaps there isn't any bright sun, there's no need for sunscreen. I have a bracelet, it's white. As soon as the UV rays hit it, it turns color. This is to teach our young children, just as they brush their teeth every morning, they should be wearing sunscreen. And to us older folks, we've already done the damage. It's an accumulation of UV rays since we were children. So the message to older folks is, by all means, go to the dermatologist once a year. It could well save your life. How foolish. So many of us have insurance, and yet we don't think of going to the dermatologist. I'm happy to say that people have come to me after hearing our message, the air show. 3 people came up and said, "Thank you for telling us last year to go to the dermatologist." Each of them had an early stage melanoma in situ. Had they not gone, they would have had greater problems. So it's a very simple message. I'd like to just mention that we have Dr. Honorato here. Dr. Honorato and his office will be doing screenings at our coming walk on May 19th at Eisenhower Park. And we're excited about that because there are some people who will be there who have not been touched by melanoma. Some of the runners maybe are just coming to, have a good day, a good run. So hopefully they will avail themselves of his services. And I'm very grateful to Dr. Honorato. This is the first time we've ever had a screening at our walk. Last year, we sponsored 5 screenings at beaches. We screened 675 individuals, and a third of them had to be referred for lesions, including melanoma. So a visit to the dermatology is really a life-saving visit. Dr. Honorato, perhaps you'd like to say something.
Thank you very much. According to the statistics from the American Academy of Dermatology, as County Executive Mangano mentioned, 1 in 5 Americans will get or suffer from a skin cancer in their lifetime. Now, this is extraordinary because it's the most common skin cancer in the United States. However, it's also one of the most underpublicized, and that's a concern for not only the American Academy of Dermatology, but for the whole of Nassau County. So it's very important, I thought, to support this courageous event, arranged and collaborated by Mrs. Coyne, and she has our full support at All Island Dermatology to do free skin cancer screenings, and hopefully if we find one person that has early skin cancer, we can detect that and cure them, because prevention, of course, as mentioned by Executive Mangano, is critical, but early detection could save lives. So that's our goal, and we hope to support that. Early detection will save lives. Thank you.
Thank you, Doc. And I could really add my own experience with that. I had an early detect at a screening in Eisenhower Park before one of our concerts. And so that early detection program, we encourage our residents to take advantage of those screenings and also utilize our prevention guidance tips that we've provided here today. And now let me introduce our presiding officer, Legislator Norma Gonzalez.
Thank you, County Executive Mangano. But most of all, thank you, Colette Coyne and your foundation for increasing awareness, not only here in Nassau County, but I think you've traveled far and wide to make it your goal. The county is certainly trying to do its part in increasing melanoma awareness. And for the next 7 days, I believe that the dome will be lit with the color blue to make people aware that May is Melanoma Month. I have to say that I was with 5th graders last week, and lo and behold, they talked about tanning legislation that we passed several years ago, thanks to Colette Coyne, who came to the legislature to talk to us about melanoma and the effects of melanoma. And as a result, we did pass tanning legislation. At that time, I believe it was the strongest, until the state came along and made it even stronger. But last week, in talking to 5th graders, I asked them, I told them about the tanning law, And I asked them, why do you think? Why do you think that we passed such legislation? And actually, they had some good answers, but they didn't have the right answer. And the right answer was the fact that tanning salons could cause skin cancer. And I also asked them if they knew of the disease melanoma. They did not know. I hate to tell you, I didn't want to embarrass the teacher, but I think the teacher didn't know either. But lo and behold, I left them with this in mind. Never go outside. I don't care if you're only going to go for a short bike ride or walk around the park or around the block, wear sunscreen. I wear it every day, and I think it's important for everyone to do the same. And I think those fifth graders now have learned what melanoma is and what they can do to protect themselves from getting skin cancer. So again, increasing awareness is ongoing, and Colette, you are doing a great job. And I thank my colleagues who are here today, and Dr. Eisenstein and Dr. Honorato, and my dear friend, wherever she is, Sharon Galvin, and all who have joined us in making this day a fine day. The sun may not be shining brightly, but guess what? It's out there. So thank you, and God bless.
Thank you, Norma. So let's hear from a survivor, Police Officer Sharon Galvin.
Thank you, County Executive Mangano, Mrs. Coyne. First, I'd like to just thank them for what they're doing for this awareness. Just like the county executive said, yes, I am a survivor. I'm 4 years cancer-free. And you have to take it as if, you know, certain times things happen to people for a reason. And I feel that I've gone through what I've gone through so that people can maybe not get the same thing that I did. And that's why awareness is so important. I've hooked up with Mrs. Coyne and the Colette Coyne Melanoma Awareness Campaign just so that I can do that. And in the 4 years that I've worked with her run, so many people have come to me and contacted me and have just asked me about certain things. And by no means am I a doctor, but I simply just say to them, you know your body better than anyone else, so please go get checked. And it has helped so many people, and I hope that I can continue to do that type of awareness with the assistance of the CCMAC awareness campaign. This year in the police department, with the permission of my police commissioner, Thomas Dale, we held our second DermaScan screening, which was a huge success. And we did an awareness campaign throughout the police department, and we had 90 members of the Nassau County Police Department come to it to learn and to get educated about melanoma, and it was wonderful. So I would like to thank them and thank the county executive for doing this today and getting the word out that awareness and protection, and just to get screened and get checked, it's so important. My children are predisposed now, so they are so educated when it comes to melanoma and the sun, and to be sun smart, and that's what we do every day, and we wear our sun protection, and that's what it's all about. So I thank you very much for allowing me to speak today. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Sharon. I know it's difficult to reflect on that instance in your life, but it's important that you do so. We appreciate it, we value it, and most importantly, we thank you for dedicating part of your life now to helping others prevent this very preventable disease. It's very preventable. You know, take the precautions. You can avoid it. If it's too late and you've avoided not preventing it, certainly early detection can save your life. Listen to those that are speaking here today from personal experience, from their professional experience, and from those that have lost loved ones due to a disease that could have been prevented. And now with us, we have with us our Commissioner of Health, Dr. Larry Eisenstein. Doc?
Thank you and good morning. I think the most important thing that County Executive Mangano and all of our other speakers mentioned is that as bad as skin cancer is and as bad as the statistics are, it is a preventable disease. There is good news. Our public can take the measures to protect themselves, their families, their children, and make sure that they don't have the opportunity to develop skin cancer. It goes beyond just a day at the beach. Think about when children head off to day camps. They should have a little sunscreen with them. When there's a Little League baseball or soccer game, both the participants as well as the fans in the stands should be wearing sunscreen. when you send your children out into the backyard for a summer afternoon, even if it's going to be for a half hour or 45 minutes, the sun's rays are very strong and the damage can add up. And we want all parents to think about any time their children are outside, and even themselves, please wear sunscreen, take the proper precautions. And if you see something on your skin or a family member's skin, it doesn't hurt to go get it checked out. So this is absolutely something that is preventable to a great degree. Protect yourselves, protect your families, and I thank everybody up here for helping us at the health department get the message out of prevention. Thank you.
Okay. We also want to remind you of a very important Awareness Day, May 19th at Eisenhower Park, 8 a.m. I believe the run starts at 9:30, so there's plenty of time to still sign up. And come on down, and they will be providing these bracelets. As you can see them getting darker just as they see the sun, and it's a good reminder for children, a good teaching aid. That, as well as we're very pleased and thankful to have Dr. Honorato there to offer free screening. So a great day in Eisenhower Park to learn about awareness, prevention, and early detection. We'd encourage you to come on down. Now, we have with us some legislators here that obviously have been very supportive. I know Legislator Ford has been with us year after year here. Denise, would you like to say a few words? I know we didn't prepare you.
I know you didn't. Okay. I just want to echo the same sentiments of the previous speakers, that it's very, very important for all of us to be aware of how damaging the sun can be on our skin and on our health. As good as it could be, it can also be bad, especially if we don't take the necessary precautions. And I know even for me, learning from Colette, always to wear sunscreen, and yes, I have it on. I made sure that I put it on every single morning. Prevention is the key, and this is something that we need to do to protect ourselves and, to protect our children and our family members. So I thank you very much, Colette, out of your sadness, that you bring so much hope and so much care for the rest of us. And I really think that that is something worth noting, and you should be commended for that. I thank you very much.
We also have with us Legislator Venditto. Mike, come on up, say a few words.
Thank you, County Executive, and thank you to Ms. Coyne, to Officer, and to Doctor for being with us today. It's been a long year for Nassau County, and it's very understandable that many of our residents want to get back out there and enjoy this beautiful weather that we're having this particular time of year. We just encourage you to take the proper precautions, have a fun, safe summer season, and make sure that you protect yourself at all costs. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. Sure. We also have Legislator Belisi. Want to say something? Sure.
I want to thank Colette for being here. I had a father who had skin cancer and passed away from it, so I know what it's about. Thank you, Colette.
Obviously, you can see how many just legislators here and those working in government have been touched by this disease, and that's why they're here today, to really plead with our residents to take the preventive measures that are available, early detection, and a very emotional day for us here. Legislator Rose Walker as well. Rose, you want to share some comments with us?
Thank you, County Executive, and also Colette. I had the really privilege of meeting Colette about 8 years ago, and I've been involved with Colette in the foundation since then. And it's always an important reminder, especially when we're out with our young people, not that just we protect ourselves, but our young people. I know we've worked with a lot of our sports teams to put coverings over their dugouts, and so the children are not constantly exposed to the sun. And just a reminder that we always have to be aware of that, not just in this beautiful weather that we hope continues here today, but during the winter months also. You think of the sun as much further away and it's not as warm and everything, but you still have that exposure to sun. So to always be precautious of the sun, to be prepared, and certainly to be checked out so that you make sure if there is anything that you should worry about, you take care of it immediately. So again, thank you, County Executive, and thank you, Colette, for joining us today and making people more aware.
Thank you, Rose. Good job. And we're very pleased to have with us Legislator Troiano.
Thank you. I want to thank the County Executive for arranging to have this ceremony on a day when it's overcast, because you really do care about us county legislators. Thank you, Ed.
Oh, yes.
But it also gives me a chance. I want to thank you for all the work that you do. But it gives me a chance to recognize my nephew, Keith Hempfling, who passed away 5 years ago from the horrors of melanoma. Keith was a heavy, heavy smoker. We all thought he would pass from lung cancer, but that wasn't to be the case. He got caught up by this unrecognized killer, melanoma. Keith would, it's kind of ironic, Keith would escape his building where he worked to run outside and smoke a cigarette. And as a result, the sun poisoned his skin. He came down with melanoma. It went untreated for years. And he died, I hate to say this, but he died a horrific, painful death, which is what we don't always often realize with cancer patients, is that the sickness and the treatment that you go through is just so horrible. It's important that we all pay attention to the deadly killer that our sun can be, as much as we love it, and we pay recognition to the simple manner we have to protect against it, which is detection and wearing sun protection. Thank you, County Executive, for holding this ceremony and recognizing the killer that melanoma is. Thank you so much.
Thank you for joining us. Appreciate it. Well, you heard from many speakers here that have dedicated their lives to an awareness campaign, prevent this terrible disease, this terrible cancer from affecting families, and certainly through our assistance of our doctors here, early detection. If you did contract it, early detection can save your life and will save your lives. So with that, we thank you for joining us here today. We remind you again, May 19th, Eisenhower Park. Be there, help support our awareness campaign and the Colette Coyne Foundation. Any questions you may have? With that, I thank you very much for joining us here today. God bless you and God bless America. Thank you.